I want to welcome everybody. And today we're going to be hearing from Briana Demars. She's an occupational therapist and she works in the school setting as well as in the clinic setting. So she has experience in both arenas and she works with kids with varying disabilities. So she has an understanding of kids who have very significant needs and also kids who have a little less support needs and a little bit more independence. We're very excited because in addition to being an occupational therapist, Briana does aquatic therapy. And I have to confess that she does aquatic therapy with both my daughter Akaya, who has trisomy 18, and my son August. So she is very near and dear to our hearts and our family. And I want to give a very warm welcome to Briana and thank you for joining us.
Thank you. I'm so excited. So yes, I have worked with both of Kelly's children. There's a third one that one day, hopefully, I will get my hands on. I just want to welcome you all today. And really, my session is going to be informative information. I want you guys to take away something that maybe inspires you to go out and try something new with your child. This information is really based upon, and I went through and I looked at statistics and I wanted to be well prepared for today, but I want to give you my professional view of what I've seen throughout aquatic therapy. I have worked with students that are ambulatory and non-ambulatory. I have worked with kiddos that have very, very, very minimal physical function, very, very low cognitive levels. And I have worked with students that have very, very, very minor cognitive issues and that have very minor physical issues. So wide variety. Aquatic therapy and water and all of those pieces, I began to see how effective water could be. And a lot of times I would have people tell me, it's just temporary. It's just, especially with those kiddos that are really tight, lots of flexion patterns going on. And then I realized that maybe it isn't temporary. Maybe they're windows. So I'm gonna move forward talking about how we open these windows, what these windows look like, and how do we get the most out of them as we're doing aquatic therapy. So I really believe that even though we put students into water. So what is aquatic therapy? It's therapy that happens in a pool, in a body of water, normally higher than 90 degrees. So it's a nice warm body of water, very comfortable. A high school pool is probably at about 84, 85 degrees. So 90 degrees in water temperature is pretty warm. Not something that you would want to like generally swim around in or get exercise in. So what I have seen is that we take these kiddos that have tons and tons and tons of physical issues. We drop them into warm water. Everything loosens up. I'm able to move my body now. I'm able to get more range than I normally have. But then when I pull this child up out of the water and put them into the cold air, everything goes back. I see kind of my work reversed. And I had a lot of people for a long time try to convince me that it was only temporary. A lot of people, because that's what we see initially, is that it goes away. But I'm going to go back to this window. So when I am swimming around in warm water, my body feels good. I'm able to get more range. I'm able to do movements maybe that I'm not able to do on land. My muscles remember this. My muscles remember, my brain remembers. And what happens, and what I've seen happen over years of being in warm water with students, and I haven't always been on the aquatic therapy end of that. So the school I work for, again, I'm working with a wide variety of students with a wide variety of abilities. I do try to stay away from the word disability because my students teach me more in one day than I could even imagine teaching them in a lifetime. So I have, like, over the last couple of years, I've really tried to stay away from the word disability. So as I go through, you're going to hear me use all types of other terms. So getting to see all these different students in the water, and the ones that are able to move their own bodies, they gain, so much more than the students that aren't. But I feel like those students that we see, or those kiddos that we see, or those adults that we see come up out of that water, when they go back, their body has gained just a little bit more. It's gained a little bit more of my muscles now remember that they're able to stretch a little further. My body now remembers, my brain remembers the state that I was of calmness that I was in. My body will loosen a little bit easier every time I get in that water and then I get out, because my brain remembers. And it doesn't matter, the brain remembers. It remembers a lot of things that we cannot see. So who is a candidate for aquatic therapy? We definitely don't. So I am trauma informed and have worked programs that I have been trained in to reverse trauma with water, which is extremely difficult to reverse trauma with water. So the first thing I want to say is that if you have a child that is fearful of the water, that does not enjoy being in the water, you may need to start way, way, way back. We don't want to create any trauma in the process of being therapeutic, because if we do, then we're not being therapeutic. So what I'm looking at is at any level, like, I'm not honestly looking at your cognitive level, and I'm not looking at your physical inabilities. I am looking at, if you have fear of the water. If you have fear of the water, we start really slow and very far back, very, very slowly, maybe putting our feet in the water, maybe getting into a Hoyer chair that drops us down into the water versus going all the way down into that chair, just doing the transfer into the chair. And that's what I mean by starting way far back. Maybe play on the side of the pool. Because these things can be reversed. If it was just somebody that was like, yeah, we're just going to grab your kid and throw them in the water. And I've seen people do this. So it's not something that, I do that I think is good practice. I recommend against it very highly. So if there is some fear of water there are some things that have to happen before you can get your child into aquatic therapy. And it's really just like desensitization of that water and of the environment and of the unknown. And like I said, I don't differentiate, like, that's really the one thing that will hold you back. And then not having a Hoyer lift into the pool will also hold you back. But as far as ADA is concerned, everybody should have one. Everybody should have a Hoyer lift into the pool, or some sort of chair mechanism to get your kiddo into the pool. So let me start talking about aquatic therapy in general. So aquatic therapy in general can do so many good things, loosening tight muscles, balance, huge for balance. I have seen a lot of people in the water that have had balance issues that have been able to work with them because of the force of the water on the body. The force of the water on the body keeps you standing up. It's just, you know, sometimes with minimal help, sometimes not. But it will help you to stand up, give you that sensory pressure sometimes that we're looking for. Water is so versatile. It can, like I said, be used on the side of the pool to help you get a student in, or in as the actual modality of your therapy. My run-in with aquatic therapy happened about 2.5 years ago, becoming an actual aquatic therapist. I have worked in the water therapeutically for probably going on 12 years now. So my journey as an aquatic therapist, I was initially given kiddos that were, you know, able to move their own bodies and, you know, make their own decisions within the water and those pieces. And I honestly didn't believe that like the work I was doing was as applicable to those. Like when I see somebody dropped down into water in the Hoyer lift that may not be able to use their own body, and you see this like calm come over them, you see the breathing change, you see their bodies just kind of loosen up, you see this level of comfortability that's huge. And that to me is just as rewarding as a therapist, to see a kiddo make the decision to walk into the pool, make the decision to go under the water, making the decision to push themselves to be more comfortable in the water. So those two things are very equal as far as like gains within the water. Give me one moment. I just need to move down. Sorry, I was having problems with Zoom, so I'm on my phone. I couldn't share what I wanted to, so improving coordination, building muscle, huge. Really, you have so much resistance in the pool. Building muscle and endurance in the pool is rather easy. It really is. Reducing stress and promoting relaxation. I know that I learn a whole lot better when my body is in a comfortable state, when my mind is relaxed, when I'm not worrying really about anything, when everything is kind of lined up. Aquatic therapy is different from any sort of aquatic exercise. I am looking at this person still in a therapeutic manner as if they were standing on land. So a lot of times aquatic therapy is used for, again, rehabilitation or strengthening these pieces. And with aquatic exercise, you don't need to be supervised by anybody. I thought this was really cool. I'm going to jump around a little bit. I didn't start off with this, but I wanted to, was the history of aquatic therapy. So they've been doing aquatic therapy since like Greek and Roman times. I knew that like there were a lot of things that stem just in my trainings of aquatic therapy, but I never knew like it was that far back. Hippocrates actually recommended bathing in warm spring water to reduce sickness. Japanese people have been using hot springs forever to heal body ailments. And they actually, the Germans, more recent in history, went through and began water births, and from that kind of moved forward into pediatric water therapy. So like they saw from the water births how everybody was calm and how it was therapeutic for the child. And then they decided, well, wait, what if we just start putting, you know, pediatric patients with ailments into water? And it worked. And so long ago. And like I was talking about earlier, therapeutic, aquatic therapy has to happen in warm water. If it's in cold water, it doesn't work to your advantage. So again, making sure that you're getting into a pool that's nice and warm. Again, that water is resistance. Very, very important. Let's see. This is another cool fact, I thought. Respiratory muscles are forced to work harder in the water, which allows for natural strengthening. So this is another one of these pieces. I don't see it happening, but I know that it's helping. I have students that we have had that were very congested, that deal with a lot of congestive issues, a lot of respiratory issues, and taking these students and putting them into a warm environment in the warm water. I have teachers come back and say, wow, like they're breathing so much better today now. And with the assistance of, you know, let's work through this. So we do a lot of tapping, a lot of moving that fluid out so that way everybody can breathe better. And it just works. We see all these things. And these are the elements that I know that are helping my students and helping my clients. It's important that aquatic therapy is paired with land therapy. A lot of times, if you are a candidate for aquatic therapy, you're already getting land therapy. That's a hugely important point because there's definitely carryover. So historically, I have seen students that have honestly on land been, you know, non-cooperative, that are just not able to get to where they need to be. And we put them in aquatic therapy and open up a whole new world for them. May it be the element that, yes, I really want to go swimming and I really want to be with this person and I really enjoy my time there. So again, making sure that those two things are paired up. Let's see. Aquatic therapy is used for people of all ages. I work mainly in the pediatric world. As far as in the clinic setting. In the school setting, I am with kiddos that are there until the day before their 22nd birthday. And we try to get as much therapy out of the pool as possible. At the school I work at, we do not do aquatic therapy there. When I am there, beam therapeuticness. So I make everything therapeutic. It doesn't matter what it is. That is the one thing I got going for me. Everything is therapeutic. So definitely know that. Let's see. The pool that I work in at the school ranges from 2 feet all the way to 5.5 feet. I feel as an aquatic therapist, you do definitely have to have some area where your student or your client is able to stand up and get some weight bearing through the bottom of their feet. Even it's like taking 100 pounds off of your body once you put yourself into the water due to the lack of gravity. So a lot of kiddos that I have that have AFOs or some sort of orthosis in their shoes are able to weight bear barefoot on the pool floor. So, and this is huge because as we know, kiddos that wear AFOs, they lack a lot of sensory input into their feet. And so we all around are able to get people in the pool and see this magnificent change overall physically. And it really is dependent on the person on how long you're doing aquatic therapy for. again, in the therapy world, it's as long as we're making gains. What does a gain look like? Well, I normally don't have specific goals for aquatic therapy. I am working off of land goals, and I'm able to take those land goals and modify them pretty much any way I want in this pool. I'm able to say, okay, we're going to do a functional task. What does that functional task look like? And I was just telling Kelly and Terry that, like, I have these really great pictures, but I can't share them, and it's really quite frustrating because I have equipment. So this is another thing that kind of goes hand in hand with that therapeuticness, aquatic therapy, all of these pieces. Is I look for independence. And when I say that, I mean, I don't say it very loosely. I am very, 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 no matter what your cognitive level is, no matter what your physical, what level you're, functioning at physically, you are an individual person. You should at some point be able to be independent, not have people touching you, not, be overcrowded. And in the pool, I've kind of figured this out. So um, when I started at this pool 12 years ago, there was this blue donut thing hanging on the wall, very, very large. Um, and I was like, oh, what is that? And she was like, oh, let me show you. So the instructor herself got into the donut in the water. And I was like, oh my goodness, that is the coolest thing ever. And then I got to see one of my students inside of there and was completely blown away. This donut that has straps that go around the person's body that get put on before they go into the pool, get literally clipped into this floating donut. And that's exactly what it looks like, as a donut. Um, they gained all this independence. I didn't have to be touching them to keep them above the water. I didn't have to constantly be shifting and manipulating my own body so that way I could keep them in a comfortable position and also be able to maintain them above the water. This blue donut has changed aquatic therapy for me for kiddos that don't have much control over their bodies. And I get to see all of these students that, would not necessarily be able to move or, just kind of float independently and do what they want, to have the control over themselves, to stick their hands in the water when they want, or pull them out when they want, or shift their body forward and backwards. And I have run into a couple issues with my donut because of head control. But I kind of took two of my favorite pieces of equipment and I put them together. So I took this yellow head float and we put it inside, standing up behind my students. And those that don't have the head control are now completely supported from behind. I try to line the hole up that would normally go around their neck as a head float to keep them above the water. I try to line up the back of their head with that, so that way they have a little bit of an incline, but they are still able, like if I want to kick my legs, I can kick my legs. If I want to request things with my AAC device, I can do that because I'm not completely in the water. I may have somebody on the side holding my device. There's just all of these pieces that we get to see. And it is so important to remember that even like recreational, like this is my goal always at the school, is to teach recreation and to teach comparable activities that can be done, say, in a public pool. While again, always being therapeutic, whatever therapeutic value I can get out of something, I'm definitely trying to get that. So getting to see that these kiddos that on land are in a wheelchair being pushed by somebody that in order to adjust their bodies are having to be touched. And then we put them in this water walker, and this is what it's called, is a water walker. We were able to see independence. We were able to see kiddos smiling and happy and, you know, within an arm's distance of staff. But I mean, in my 12 years, I have never, thank the Lord, had an accident or had somebody flip one over. Actually, me and my assistant, when we first started using them a lot, I was like, wait a second, I need to see how easy it is to tip one of these things. I need to know what I'm working with. So me and her both got in one, and we literally, with all of our force, like massive force forward, massive force backwards, pushing down, this thing does not move. It does not go under the water. I have never had a student flip, and I have put students that are ambulatory outside of the pool with, say, some sort of device, maybe a walker, and I've put them in it and had them walk around the pool. So they're going through all different levels of water. They're trying to figure out what exactly, you know, where they can go, how they can move. But I mean, I've seen these kiddos that, like I said, could not walk in the pool independently. You put one of these on them and they gain all of this independence. They are able to be independent and walk around the pool by themselves and move themselves and, you know, do activities by themselves that, say, they're not able to do on land, or it's just not motivating enough on land. So, and that's a huge piece. Water, for those that love it, is so motivating. It is so extremely motivating. There's that one thing I can't get my kid to do. There's that one thing I really, really, really want to see happen. Try it in the water. See if you get a different response from your child. See if, you know, I have seen so many children, so many adults grow through the water that it really honestly changed my mind about anything anyone could have ever said to me about the effectiveness of water, about the effectiveness of this warm water after they get out of the pool. I really have been able to see all these magnificent things. And I, as a professional, am just so blessed to be able to see these things. And I really want people to go out there and try things with their kiddos. I want people to try new equipment and, you know, not be scared to be with their child in the water, because it is so very beneficial. Aquatic therapy, it's not easy to find. It's not something that a lot of clinics do. It's not something that a lot of schools that have different students with different abilities there to be able to have a pool at their school. It's not super common that you know, special education schools have pools. So get out there and look and see and ask and talk to people. You know, there's all these diamond in the roughs, but if you can't, you know, find them, then I would be more than willing for you to shoot me an email and help you find them. And I don't care where you are in this world. Like, I have no problem, you know, making those phone calls with you and trying to find a warm pool for you to put your child into recreationally. That to me is extremely important. So please, I will make sure that I put my email into the chat when I'm done. So that way you can take it down if you want it. If you have any questions later, or again, like you're looking for that warm water pool and you just don't know where to look, I would be more than happy to help you look in your area. Just one or two more things. So with the whole aquatic therapy piece, again, if you can't find it, do things recreational. Look up videos of things that you could possibly do with your child and modify them. It is just so beneficial, the stretching, the moving, the weightlessness, to always feel so heavy and then to not have any weight at all. I can only imagine how that feels for some of my students. A lot of my feedback is smiles and clapping and, you know, vocalizations. So I chalk that up for we're doing the right thing. And yeah, just it's so important. Whatever you can do to get your child in the water, I would recommend, because it is effective. And again, don't feel discouraged when they're so very loose in the water and then the tone kicks back in when they come out of the water. Remember, we're trying to reprogram the brain to learn different motor patterns, to learn, you know, what my level is, how far does my range go, all of those pieces. And the brain can be taught. It can be taught all of those things in the water. So I am just so thankful for the time that everybody gave me today. And if we have any questions, I would be more than happy to answer them.
Absolutely. Briana, I'm going to share the picture of a kayak because one of the questions is, can you show some of the equipment? And I know she's wearing some of the
Hang on.
equipment.
Let me see. Okay. Yes. Let me send you.
We can also add some photos to the website
pictures.
post when we upload the presentation, at least for those watching it later or those that want to go back and look at it.
Yes.
So there's, I know you were talking about the
Yes.
yellow floaty.
Yeah, so there is my favorite girl, and she has a yellow head float around her neck, and she also has a flotation belt, but that's because I wanted to work on, so I was actually on this day in the pool, I was actually standing in front of a kayak, and I wanted her body up and raised up out of the water so I could get her legs to kind of open. We were working on spreading her legs and moving them back together and spreading and getting some flexion in her hips. And really all she needed was this woman behind her to stabilize. Like literally she just had maybe 2 fingers on each side of that yellow head float. It is extremely buoyant. So that's the head float that I stick in the blue donut. I am trying to get the picture of the blue donut right now, and then I can send it to Kelly. Let's see. Give me one moment. I apologize.
And the blue donut is what you also refer to as the water walker, or they're 2 different things?
It as is the water walker.
Perfect. Okay, I got booted, so I'm.
Yes, no. Let me see. Why does it not want to?
So I'm going to ask you if this is what you're talking about. Is this what you're talking about, Briana?
No. Give me 2 seconds. I'm going to go back to the actual pictures.
While you're doing that, I am going to let Tara had a
Thank you.
question. And I'm going to give Tara the ability to ask her question. Oops. Where did she go? There we go. All right, Tara, if you unmute, you should be.
Yeah, I was just wondering, is there a minimum age? I know that you can go as old as you want, but is there a minimum age recommended for aquatics?
There is not. The only thing that I have honestly seen is that after the age of 1, the natural response for a baby to close their mouth and hold their breath is gone. So I would not have anybody like putting your baby under the water after 1 without their consent, without them actually promoting like the movement. Like, I want to stick my face in the water, I'm going to push my head forward and dip my face in the water. After 1 year old, there is no anybody, any age will benefit from aquatic therapy. Kelly, did you get my picture?
How did you send it?
Through text, I'm sorry. Hang on, you want me to send it a different way?
No, text is fine. I just didn't get the text yet.
All right, let me try again.
And Chelsea was asking about pictures, and so that's what we're working on right now.
So, yeah, because this thing is really cool. I had never ever seen this piece of equipment until I started working at this school, and I have never ever seen this piece of equipment anyplace else. I have never seen it. The company actually, after a lot of investigating, went out of business probably 2009 or so, and I had to find a company that would remake them for me because I wanted more of them. And even when you Google it online, it doesn't come up. Like the company doesn't come up, the pictures of it don't come up, and I am really wondering why you're not getting the.
Yeah, that's weird. I'm gonna let Jessica LaHouse ask her question. So
Sure.
Jessica, if you could unmute and you can ask your question.
Hi, thank you for all this information. I just wanted to ask, my daughter has trisomy 18. She is 17 months old. She's trached. She doesn't quite sit up on her own yet. She's low tone. My question was, is there anything I could be doing with her in the bathtub at home that would be beneficial for her to start, using that resistance you were talking about and gaining some muscle tone that way?
Absolutely. So you're going to put stuff in the water for her, and you're going to work on like getting her to move those pieces. And just because I don't have her in front of me, I'm not, I don't want to give you, I'm just going to give you a range of ideas versus, so yeah, putting stuff in front of her, having her, while you're supporting her, having her reach for them, going down into the water and reaching for objects, having her work with bubbles. We do bubbles all the time. Like, I am really in love with bubbles in the pool. I think that they are a great addition to any therapy session, but in the pool, they're very good. So, you can start off with actual bubbles like in her water, having her try to kick those, reach those with her hand, blow, all of those pieces. As far as resistance goes, if you are able to keep her afloat while supporting the back of her neck and her waist, I'm not sure how big she is at 17 months old, we're using the water as resistance and moving her body. So you're holding here at her waist, at her neck, and then you're just moving those hips, maybe going back and forth a little bit through the water while using the resistance. Again, supporting her neck and maybe the back of her shoulders, and using your arm to get her to go back and forth in the water through just kind of, you know, like an angel wing movement. Did I answer your question?
Yes, sorry, I didn't realize I was still listening. Yes, that's awesome. Thank you so much. She's only 14 pounds, so she can fit in the bathtub with plenty of space. So I will give all that a try. Thank you.
Yes, absolutely.
Okay, I'm going to go to Renee Bradley. I just need to find her name in the list here. There she goes. Okay, Renee, if you'll unmute, you can ask.
Okay, can you hear me?
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Hi there. Thanks so much for, first of all, for being willing to share with us and be some information. That's always awesome that you guys take those time out of your day to help us. So, okay, so I have a Dawson. He is 15 years old, and he just had spine surgery, so he's extremely long. But we're finding his extremities are extremely tight, like you were explaining. And so we got aquatic therapy at a therapy location here, but they've kind of shut down that pool now. And my question is, we have a pool, we put a pool in for Dawson. Now it's not warm. Here in South Carolina, we've had 90-degree weather, so our pool's a little bit warmer than it normally is. And he loves being in the pool. He loves we can see him stretch his legs out. He's so tall now, he can touch in the shallow end. My question to you, is there anything that they make that a kiddo that size, he only weighs 50 pounds, that we could purchase to help him have a little more freedom in our pool when he's out there to, you know, float around with his siblings and that kind of thing, and reap the benefits of being able to use both of our hands to help him, you know, with some range of motion and stuff.
Absolutely. I am absolutely, yes, absolutely. I wish I could show you this picture. I'm going to give my email out, and anybody that would like the pictures, I'd like to email them to you so you can see. And along with that, I can email you. So now this company has made me a small, a medium, and a large of these water walkers that I keep talking about. And they were able to specify them to sizes that I wanted. And they're not cheap by any means. I think they're around $600.
Okay.
But they last forever. Like, the only thing you will ever have to replace on this thing is a belt. And I can only imagine the belt will cost you about $30.
Okay.
So they're absolutely amazing. I wish that I had gotten more releases from my parents at the school so I could show you the range of level of students that I put in them. It's huge. The range is immense. I mean, if you could think of, you know, ambulatory with a walker all the way to not, you know, I mean, we're talking, I put kiddos with trachs into these things because they are safe. They stay dry, you know, and they're absolutely amazing.
Yeah, well, we see him when we're in the pool, like he will literally stretch his legs all the way out where normally his right leg is probably less, I don't know, I don't even remember. They just measured it. It's like 130, I think. So he doesn't bend it far, but in the pool, we can see him completely stretch it out just like he does when he's in his knee immobilizers without, you know, motivation from us. So I would love to have something that we would feel like he was safe in, where we could use both of our hands to help stretch his muscles out. So.
Absolutely. Kelly, can you send me your email? Hang on, let me make sure I don't have it in here. Oh, wait, no, I do. I'm now sending you the email with the pictures, Kelly. I just hit send.
And Briana, if you want to, if you want to send just all, like you're sending them all the pictures to Kelly, we could actually make them available in our group so that you don't, I mean, obviously you want people to contact you if they have questions, but so it may reduce some of the onslaught of emails that you get.
Sure.
So
Yeah,
it's
no.
up to you entirely.
Yeah, no, did you?
So did you send it to which email? Did you
Maybe the school district.
Okay, I think you sent it to my school district one. Yep, hold on. I just have to transfer to that one.
Awesome.
Okay. I just need to get to sharing. Okay. So I can,
Awesome. So yes, that's not me. That's my, that's the pool assistant, Miss Laura. We did recently buy a kayak for our students, right before, COVID hit, and we're teaching kiddos how to water safety in a kayak. We try everything out ourselves before we ever put students in it or clients in it. So that's why she's in there smiling. She also loves to kayak now, so. And there is my blue donut. Miss Laura, I would guess, weighs about 180 pounds and is about 5 foot, probably 7 or 8. This thing, she is in the medium water walker, and it doesn't budge. It is just the most wonderful thing. She has a belt around her waist that goes through her crotch and comes up and clips in to the top of this thing. You can't see the clips, and is just magnificent. It is really, really magnificent. So what I do is, with that yellow head float that we saw Kaya wearing earlier, I would put that right behind Miss Laura's head. And therefore she's no longer able to fall backwards, and we keep the head part lined up, that hole lined up, so that way I have even a little bit of incline and arrest. So I actually have pictures of just the yellow head float by itself, so that's kind of what it looks like, and then the blue water walker outside of the water. So I think this is a picture of the small one. And again, they make small, medium, and large, and they are just so amazing, so very amazing, and how buoyant they are and how they keep students up. I just, it really has opened up a whole new world for my students, because now we own, I think at the school there's 6 of them. And my plans before COVID were to put in my into my schedule that we would have a water walker session. So very, very important to me that, like, my students get to spend time with their peers in the most independent fashion as possible. And these things provide that. They provide that. And I never recommend that you just put a child in the water in this by themselves. There always needs to be a human being within, I like to say an arm's length away. So that way I can grab you if I need to for whatever reason. And they're great. Like, they are magnificent. Like I said, I've never been able to flip one, and I've tried many times. Miss Laura, when she was in the pool that time, tried to flip that one, and was not able to flip it. And like I said, she is a fully functioning 180-pound woman, and, you know, has been in the water since she was a baby and is very, you know, fluent in the water and was not able to get it over. So, hang on one moment. I saw something pop up on the, in the chat about the company. Give me one moment. I'm going to get you guys some information and put it directly into the box.
There was a question, what is the yellow head float called?
Yeah, it's a yellow head float. I have no idea. I'm sure it has a name, but I want to get you guys the name of the company before we get off. And like I said, I'm having, excuse my language, but a brain fart, because Demars. The company's name is Demars. They are located in Ann Arbor, Michigan. And I will type that into the chat right now. Here we go. That is the name of the company. They are one of the most awesome companies I've ever worked with. They are so willing to always create things for me. So yeah, reach out to them, contact them. I've had them come out by me before, and we are in Illinois. So kind of a long drive for them, but they came out and were magnificent. They make a lot of different things. The materials that they use are awesome. I have had them, I met them through getting helmets for people that have seizures, and they are just great. They can re-dip anything. This is the type of material that they're using. So say my child decides that they're going to bite a hole through my expensive blue donut, they can re-dip it. So it's not a loss. So it doesn't sink. I mean, they're absolutely magnificent. And I am throwing my email address into chat right now. If you could just put something in the subject line that lets me know that it's a question due to or for the presentation, so that way I get to your email faster than say I would normally.
So if they said, you know, soft conference or something like that, that would probably be an
Yes.
indicator.
Yes, that would be a great indicator.
So if nobody else has any questions, I want to thank Briana I want to thank you for your time and sharing all of the information that you shared with us today. Briana has been a wealth of information and support for my family, for Akaya, who has trisomy 18, and like I said, my other kids as well. So please, you know, reach out to her using her email if you guys have any questions. But Briana, thank you for being willing to do this and sharing with us today. We really appreciate it.